Welcome back. I'm Jim Burrows, a life enthusiast. I can't say I've always been a life enthusiast, but over the last 8 years, I've shed 80 pounds and I've changed the entire trajectory of my life. And I'm on here to try to help you do the same. So if you're interested in habits that will stick for life, stick around. This isn't a how-to video, but if you're not sure how to get started, after all, that is the first step, shoot me a comment below, ask me a question, and maybe I can offer some tips on that. But what I want to talk about today is consistency. Because consistency is what's going to yield the greatest results. At least that's what I've found to be the case. Because for the first 20 to 25 years of my adult life, I ate whatever was put in front of my face. I was the king of Oreos. I was the king of ice cream. If it was sweet, I ate it. Because after all, it tastes good. The byproduct of that is you start to look like the little girl in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory that ate the little blueberry. You balloon on up over time. And then at some point, for me, it was 8 years ago, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired and you say it's time to make a change. The reason for that change for me was I wanted to be around for my grandkids. So I started. And when I first started, it was pretty much when it was convenient, or it wasn't too cold, or it wasn't raining, or insert favorite excuse to not do what you're supposed to do here. But it wasn't until I got consistent that I started to see real results. So consistency. How do you get consistent? For me, it really happened when I set a routine. I made the conscious decision to move every day before work. It was tough at first, getting up early and doing my thing. Coworkers thought I was crazy. My wife, she definitely thought I was crazy. Because with getting up early, that also required me to go to bed a little earlier. Because hey, sleep is important. But once you develop a routine, it's just what you do. It's not a chore. It's not an, oh my God, I've got to do it again. It just becomes who you are. And that routine is consistent. And you don't have to deal with, all that inner dialogue of, do I have to do this? Do I need to do this? And don't get me wrong, in the beginning, setting that routine, you're going to have to overcome that. I did. And the hard thing about it is, that voice in your head, it knows every button to push. It knows your weaknesses. It knows your faults. And it's going to try to keep you from doing the thing you need to do, from developing that routine. But you've got to push it out of your head and stay, I'm sticking to my routine. You can do that. I've done it. And Lord knows, if this is really out of shape, big dude can do it, so can you. Once you start moving on a consistent basis, you're going to feel so much better. And the next thing I can tell you to do is start focusing on some nutrition basics. Essentially eating a little bit better. For me, what I did was I started eating as many single or very few ingredient foods as I could. Just made perfect sense. I mean, years ago I was a chemical salesman that called on food production facilities. And so I got to see on the inside what it took to create some of my favorite snacks. Some of them looked like fish. Some of them were round with white frosting in the middle. But that was not all that appealing. But I got to be honest with you. Didn't stop me from eating it. But once I started moving and started feeling better and started seeing small results, in my crazy little brain, I wanted to see more results. So I knew I had to get my food under control. I started looking at ingredients on packaging, and if there were things on there that I couldn't pronounce, that almost looked like they were written in a foreign language, I did my best to put it back on the shelf and not bring it home. I'm not saying I immediately cut out all the Oreos and all the ice cream. What are you, crazy? That took some time, some serious time. Maybe that's another topic for another video. But make small, incremental changes. Again, don't try to overdo it all at once. Be realistic. Extend yourself some grace. You're not perfect. And listen, I am not an absolutist by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, right before I left the house today, my wife had some friends over and they were doing a cookie exchange. So what do you think I did? Yeah, I had a cookie or two that I don't normally eat because they were brought in from friends. And that's okay. I'm human. But I did not have 15 cookies like big old fat Jim used to. Again, extend yourself some grace, but try to set a routine of choosing the healthier option. And your results on top of your movement because of your routine will be even greater. At least that's what I experienced. Now, depending on what you decide to do as far as movement or regularity, I can't recommend this one enough. Prioritize recovery. Primarily, sleep. Sleep does a body good. And I've found that when I get between 7 and 9 hours sleep minimum, I'm a much more productive human. I have less brain fog, excuse me, less stress at work. And overall, I'm a happier dude. Not to mention all the physical benefits that it's going to give you because you're now moving on a consistent basis. So, to wrap everything up, to stick to lifelong changes, set a routine, create consistency, change your nutritional habits. How we doing?
Good.
And prioritize your recovery/sleep. And if you've liked what you've seen today, you know somebody who might need to hear it, share it with them. That would help out the channel. Also, it'd be awesome if you subscribed so that I can share more of my journey with you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.